لاهور را به جان برابر خریده ایم، جان داده ایم و جنت دیگر خریده ایم.
I have purchased Lahore with my life, by giving my life for Lahore. I have actually purchased another paradise. Empress Noor Jahan was one of the greatest lovers of Lahore. Milton, in his Paradise Lost, mentions Lahore as a great marvel for future generations. The periods of glory of this city were interrupted time and time again by eras of turbulence and hardship. Legendary tradition ascribes the founding of the city in unknown times to Loh, the son of Rama. Several Hindu dynasties followed each other in the Punjab. Sultan Mahmud Ghazna invaded the Indian subcontinent 17 times. As a consequence, Lahore became firmly incorporated into the Muslim Empire by 1026. The saint Usman al-Jalabi al-Hajwari came to Lahore from eastern Iran after wandering through the Islamic world in pursuit of mystical knowledge. His book, Kashf al-Mahjub, The Unveiling of the Hidden, inspired many pious inhabitants of Lahore. The people of Lahore placed their abiding trust in the saint, whom they did not call Hajwari, but Data Ganj Bakhsh, the giver of treasure. Babur, the founder of the fabled Mughal Empire, and his successors made Lahore a great city. They created fabulous buildings and gardens. Shish Mahal, the Palace of Mirrors, Naulakha and Diwan-e-Khas have attracted visitors from around the globe, and the area has been declared a World Heritage Site. The Badshahi Mosque and the Alamgiri Gate of the fort are probably the most visited places in Lahore. The architectural remains of Lahore, sensuous in their exploitation of colour, textures and materials, intellectual in their vigorous use of intricate formal patterns, and yet wholly spiritual in essence, at once seduce the art lover. There is a dazzling variety in the Muslim architecture of this city, which stuns students of archaeological history. Beautiful buildings were created by the Mughals, who drew inspiration from their ancient traditions, yet produced a style of architecture which is uniquely indigenous. The conquerors of India, for the most part, came from the harsh, mountainous lands of the north. When they settled in Lahore, they laid the foundations of palaces and planned gardens which are well preserved to this day. Within these gardens they created pavilions, waterfalls and fountains. Lahore was historically known as the City of Gardens. There are many well-preserved gardens of the past to be visited in the city today, as well as the new creations of modern landscape experts. Lahore has produced outstanding sportsmen, ranging from the world champion wrestler Gama Pahlwan to the modern day's World Cup winning cricket team. Lahore has always been a centre for the performing arts, particularly those of classical, folk, popular and modern traditions. The sheer diversity of its cultural expression in both music and dance leave visitors to the city truly inspired by their experience. The history of theatre dates back to 200 BC. This part of the subcontinent is the custodian of a rich cultural heritage of both music and dance. Lahore is not just its bazaars, buildings or monuments. Its ambiance is composed of the joys, sorrows and aspirations of its people. It is their colourful life that constitutes the spirit and soul of the city. There is an old adage that there are 8 festivals in a week in Lahore. That spirit is still alive. Travel and tourism are very important aspects of modern human activity. The fabled tradition of hospitality is alive and flourishing in Lahore today. Visitors are made to feel comfortable and welcome. During the Mughal period, resting places known as sarais were built. Travellers would put up at the sarais, rest and refresh themselves, then move on to their next destination. The same tradition of hospitality is transformed today into modern 5-star hotels. Lahore has many festivals and events, but the most attractive are Basant and Mela Chiragha. The two festivals overlap each other and are very popular with tourists. During these celebrations, Lahoris are at their best and they exhibit the vitality and enthusiasm for which they are famous. The human factor is the most attractive feature of the city and is depicted through its people in their routine lives and during their many festivals and special events. The ancient walled city with its 13 gates, Dili, Yaki, Khizri, Masti, Kashmiri, Roshnai, Akbari, Mochi, Shahalmi, Lohari, Mori, Bhatti and Taksali are living monuments of Lahore's rich and colourful history. Since independence, Lahore has grown into a teeming modern city of over 80 million inhabitants. The city extends its powers beyond the Mughal quarters and the old British colonial buildings. Modern architects have drawn inspiration from Lahore's rich traditions and heritage and have created modern buildings with the latest technologies. Lahore continues to be the centre of trade and commerce. Old markets such as Kashmiri Bazaar, Anarkali and Shah Almi, as well as modern trade centres, cater to the needs of all sections of society. These centres provide a full range of products and services. Modern Lahore is a happy blend of antiquity and all the modern facilities required for 21st century living. The excellent road network and the many underpasses along the canal are fringed with a variety of trees. The Mughal tradition of fountains is preserved in Lahore. The many fountains of the city, both large and small, are a treat for the eye by night. Lahoris are justifiably proud of their cuisine. There are certain dishes which have taken their shape through an evolutionary process through the ages. Settlers who arrived in Lahore from other parts of the subcontinent over the last 1,000 years brought with them their own regional specialities and culinary techniques. Lahori dishes are distinct from those of other regions of the country. Food streets have been developed to preserve and promote these culinary traditions. The modern world has become a global village, and Lahore provides almost all the international fast food chains for visitors. Lahore has produced world-renowned artists who have created works of great beauty from both the classical and modern schools of art. Handicrafts are an expression of the creative force in folk art. In Lahore, traditional motifs and patterns are used extensively and reflect the ancient aesthetic and artistic traditions of the area. Lahore has been a seat of learning and scholastic pursuit for a very long time. Some of the oldest colleges and universities of the subcontinent are located here, and the city has retained its status of having the greatest number of educational institutions in the area. Government College, Aitchison College, Punjab University, and National College of Arts, to name a few. The churches in Lahore are some of the most beautiful buildings in the city. Lahore has always been friendly to all faiths. All places of worship are respected and looked after. For the beholder, the dominant colour of the city remains mystic. Darashikoh has expressed the collective psyche of the Lahoris in his prayer.
خدا پنجاب را مأمور دارد به خاک اولیا منظور دارد بود آباد دائم شهر لاهور وبا و قحط اینجا دور دارد.
May God keep the Punjab all flourishing. May He preserve the country of the saints. O my Lahore, be always full of bliss. May plague and death be away from you.